Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Today, Dad and I went to the cinema and we saw Cowboys and Aliens. Now, from the title you would think, this sounds really cheesy. Can it really be good? This is why you shouldn't be deceived by titles at all. Everything about this film was absolutely epic. The Western theme and the sci-fi theme fit together like hand in glove. It was nothing short of perfection. Daniel Craig was in it, Harrison Ford was in it, and they were just badass characters that I loved immediately. They were just incredible. And there are some lessons to be learned from this film as well about looking beyond race and color and creed and accepting humanity, which I liked. And I also became very overclamped. I won't say why, but it's very touching actually. Excuse me. But the story is about this man. He wakes up in the middle of New Mexico. He's got this kind of bracelet on his wrist, and he looks at it and he doesn't realize how it even got there. He doesn't remember where he came from. He doesn't even know his own name. And when he's having his wound operated on, which doesn't look like an ordinary shotgun wound, it looks completely different. Oops. I didn't think it was going to do that, sorry. But anyway, it's very funny that the country preacher takes him in and he says, "Where did you come from?" And Daniel Craig's character says, "I don't know." And he says, "What's your name?" He says, "I don't know that either." And then he says, "Well, what do you know?" And he says, "English." I thought that was absolutely hysterical. I was the only one that found that scene particularly funny. I was the only one that laughed at it, but I guess my humor's a little bit different than everybody else's. There is action, adventure, romance. Well, his Daniel Craig's character, we learn his name's Jake. His character has a romantic backstory. I'm not going to go into it because it's severely tragic, but it's very intriguing, and the storyline is so awesome. It's just such a cool movie, and the special effects are just mind-boggling and death-defying and just utterly exceptional. They are nothing short of exquisite. And the music, I had to get the soundtrack. I pre-ordered it because I liked it so much, but it was just amazing, and especially the choral parts, and they fit right perfectly with the scenes and the emotions and the suspense. And I have to give 2 thumbs way up to Mr. Spielberg for making this and taking a gamble, because of course people would think, well, usually the 2 themes of sci-fi and western don't match very well. And there was a movie, I can't think of it, and it's probably been MST3K'd, but it didn't work at all. But in Toy Story, in the Toy Story genre, it did very, very well. And this is another depiction of that, and example of how things can mesh well together. And actually the film takes place during the latter part of the gold rush, and you'll see why that's important with when the aliens make their presence known. And it's rather unnerving, gives you shivers up your spine when you get to see the aliens, and their crafts are just so incredible. They look like kind of a combination of locusts and horseshoe crab. I'm not really sure. It's a odd combination of animal for a flying vehicle, but I'm not sure where he got his idea. Plus there were a couple scenes with a hummingbird involved. I'm not going to give away why that's important, but I'll give you a little bit of backstory on why it's interesting. There's a Native American story that goes like this: the soul of the departed flies on the back of the hummingbird to heaven very speedily. And this goes in well with Jake's backstory, and it's very touching. And I love that scene, the two scenes with the hummingbird. They're actually probably some of my favorites, other than just the fighting scenes with the Apache and just the different combat scenes. Were very, very, very interesting, and the tech that they had was just unbelievable, and it was just such a great film. And I think this has got to be the best film of all summer, besides Transformers and Harry Potter and Captain America and Thor. It's just a really excellent film, and I really didn't see any I didn't really have any nags about it, or well, actually I did, and it was one that my dad pointed out to me. But Emma, why wouldn't her makeup be runny in all that heat? There is no way that her makeup would not run in that kind of desert heat. No possible way. But I guess since it's a Hollywood film, everything looks perfect, and everybody is going to be primed and prepped for their next close-up. Yeah, it's not very logical at all, but that was my only problem with the movie. Other than that, it's just a rollicking good ride. It's just really intense in the action scenes. It's just, it kicks butt. This is the best movie I've seen all summer, and I just loved it. I can't stop giving it praise, because it's just incredible, and you wouldn't think it from the title at all. But if you have a chance to see Cowboys and Aliens, do it, because it is just unbelievable. And Daniel Craig, Jake, and Harrison Ford as Woodrow, love them. They are just absolutely tremendous characters, both very rough and tumble macho types on their own accord. And had it not been for these two characters, I don't think the movie would have gotten off the ground, to be honest with you. I think it would have been a complete flop. But these two guys are just they are consummate actors, and I love them both, and I can't wait to see this movie again, just because I liked it that much, and I think it's going to be a classic, and there are some good lessons in the movie throughout, and I think that a lot of people can learn from the lessons that were depicted with the Apache people and the Cowboys. I just thought that was a great lesson. I really don't have that much to say, other than this movie is astronomically spectacular, and it's nothing short of miraculous as far as movies are concerned. And it does a great job of putting fear in your soul and making you uneasy with a lot of scenes with the aliens, and I just loved it. And it's just it's intense, and it's great, and it's very entertaining, and it doesn't have any lags whatsoever. It's just a really good film. And there was there was one other scene that I didn't quite get. I think they cut out a part that should have been left, but there was one scene where the Australian I think it's an Australian Shepherd, he runs away, and you hear a yelp with the alien. I think there would have been an alien that might have attacked him, but later on he appears, and you think, I thought he was dead, but they really don't explain that, and it sort of goes against your understanding, because earlier you heard the distinctive yelp of a dog that got wounded. Just a minute, I'll be right there, okay? But I am just going to say that if you're going to see a movie, this is the one that you should see. Thumbs way up.